Welcome back, Jobins, to another episode of What the X. This is WTX episode 23. Yeah, we're 23 episodes in. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel. Just still trying to grow it. So thank you guys so much. And let's just get started with episode 23 of What the X with our first tweet by the Texas governor himself, Greg Abbott, at Greg Abbott _TX. This is easy. Mayorkas and FEMA immediately stop spending money on illegal immigration resettlement and redirect those funds to areas hit by the hurricane. Put Americans first. And under that tweet is a snippet, because this is in response to an article by Associated Press, AP, titled Mayorkas warns FEMA doesn't have enough funding to last through hurricane season. And I'm sure all of you Jobins are aware right now with the destruction from Hurricane Helene, North Carolina, Virginia, I think even Tennessee, just the southeastern United States has been affected. My prayers go out to the families that have been affected by the hurricane. And the hurricane season itself is pretty destructive, so it's scary to think, Jobins, that they don't have enough funding to last through hurricane season, as the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas reported. And then FEMA, Jobins, if you're not aware, is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And what Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, is referring to when he's talking about the money that's going towards the illegal immigration resettlement, apparently FEMA has spent more than $1.4 billion since the fall of 2022 to address the migrant crisis, per New York Post. Because I do want to shout out the news agencies that are reporting these headlines and these articles, because there's bias with any news organization and who owns them. So New York Post definitely has an agenda like any other news organization. Just interesting to see the numbers there, though. And it's just a real tragedy, everything going on there. It's a shame that it has to be politicized. But FEMA is a federal agency, and they have been known to drop the ball in the past. I don't know if any of you Jobins are old enough. This shows my age, but I was thinking like 10 or 11. I forget. It's 2004, I believe. I might be off. I'm sorry to all the people affected by Hurricane Katrina with New Orleans and the FEMA disaster there with the relief. So this isn't FEMA's first rodeo, so it's a shame to already get reports and warnings that they're not going to have enough funding. And it's interesting Greg Abbott coming out and, just really accusing Mayorkas and FEMA of mishandling the taxpayer money by sending it to illegal immigration resettlement when it should be going towards Americans first. Again, it's just super interesting to think about, like, Texans and Texas. It's a big state. Everything's bigger in Texas, they say. And to think of like a real civil war happening, Texas is going to be on the forefront. So, yeah, very interesting. And just to go further on with this, Elon Musk had a little bit to say. At Elon Musk, the owner of X, as a reminder, I am very much in favor of oh my gosh, I always have a tough time with this word, Jobin, sorry. Expedited legal immigration. As a reminder, let me repeat that. As a reminder, I am very much in favor of expedited legal immigration for anyone who is talented, hardworking, and honest. America should be like a pro sports team that wants to win the championship. Draft the best players to enable the whole team to win. Which is an interesting point, because Elon Musk himself, as pro-American as he is from South Africa originally. So very interesting for him to be pro-legal immigration, which does make sense, because I think everyone should have an opportunity to come to America and to try to create that American dream for themselves and their family, as much of almost as a myth, it seems these days, to really have that dream be attainable. So hopefully whoever wins in the election, you know, like can make it more of a possibility, a reality of the American dream, which is something that I feel like isn't as accessible as it should be. But again, going off a little bit there, I just wanted to say that I too am totally for, you know, the legal immigration process being less intensive. I do think that maybe it's a little too hard to where some people that deserve to be here just can't get through all those hoops that they put in place, when maybe there should be less hoops to make it. And that might even help with the illegal immigration problem too, because so many people might be coming illegally because of how difficult it is to go through the legal process. Because at the end of the day, even though there is an illegal immigration crisis, you could say, going on at the southern border, we have to humanize it at the same time. I always stress the humanizing of the numbers, because it comes in as a figure that's pretty startling. But these are people at the end of the day that's trying to make it a better life for themselves. And then, yeah, sure, there's always going to be criminals in any race, Americans included. And maybe some of them are slipping through the cracks as well. But I believe that most people just want to do the best by their family and get the best opportunities possible. So maybe the legal process itself does need some changes to allow more people to legally come in here. And that would be maybe a solution to both the illegal immigration crisis and getting better workers and people out there to make America great. Not again, because America's been great. You know, this is the best country, and I don't want us to forget that. And I know that hopefully we as Americans can unite together and just be one. But anyways, just to go further, because I did a little bit of deep dive into this, Jobins. Since January of 2021, an increase of 6.6 million growth in the foreign-born. And foreign-born is a term that's interchangeable with immigrant. So it doesn't just include illegal immigrants, but also legal immigrants and people on work visas. So there's a lot that goes into it. So the number could be a little misleading at first, because it's not 6.6 million growth in illegal immigrants, it's 6.6 million in foreign-born, which also happens to encompass illegal immigrants in that, but also legal immigrants too. So I don't want that number to scare people right away. But the one thing is, and this has all been, this is testimony, this is a journal or an article, you could say, by the titled "The Consequences of Illegal Immigration for Housing Affordability, Government Budgets, and American Workers." And this is prepared by Stephen A. Camarota, Director of Research Center for Immigration Studies. So it's, you know, it's a professional who is in the field of study of immigration. And since 2021, 5.6 million illegal immigrants have come into the country. 5.6 million illegal immigrants since 2021, January 2021, which coincides with Biden's administration. Now, just because that number has jumped that high doesn't necessarily prove causality. It just proves correlation. So there has to be a little bit more data there to prove causality, even as Camarota himself states in his article. So, but you still do need to look at the numbers and realize that that is still a pretty high increase since the previous administration, which would have been Trump's administration, but you can't link it to causality just with those numbers alone. But at the same time, again, it is important to humanize and just know that these are people, not just numbers. Although the numbers do show that there are things that we gotta worry about in the future about the sustainability of how many people we're able to let into the country. And I just hope that whoever comes in, you know, we make sure that as long as they love America, you know, as much as we do, that would be the best outlook. So just let's all remember to love this country and all together try to make it a great country, despite all the craziness that's going on out there. But yeah, shout out to, not shout out, because that's not the right way to phrase that, but my prayers go out to everyone that's been affected by Hurricane Helene. So just pray for them, Jobins, And my prayers also go out to the refugees that are just trying to make sure that their, sons and daughters, that their families, their mothers and fathers, are okay and safe and can be provided for, because maybe they're in a situation where they're desperate and they have to take that illegal crossing. I'm not saying illegal immigration's right, but I'm trying to understand from some people's point of view how these things happen. And I don't want to criminalize everyone that comes in. Let's try to, because there's conspiracy theories out there that maybe the Democrats and the Biden administration's making sure that they can ensure long-term one party by making sure they get the loyalty of everyone foreign-born that comes in. And not just foreign-born, because that also includes legal immigrants, but mainly the illegal immigration, the resettlement, all these political agendas going on. But even if they're being used as tools by the Democrats, or the Democratic Party, I should say, or maybe even more specifically the Biden-Harris administration, even if they're being used as political pawns in that way, which is a conspiracy theory at the end of the day, even if that were the case, we should have open arms for the people coming here and just show what it means to be an American and be an upstanding citizen, and hopefully they can have that loyalty towards the country as well, instead of feeling mistreatment or hatred towards a country that they almost feel forced into because of whatever they're running away from, whether it be political asylum. There's so many things that could be going on. So I just want everyone to keep an open mind and not go straight to hate, but try to just be a good neighbor at the end of it all, right? Respect thy neighbor. Let's all, everybody love everybody, as I say all the time from semi-pro, and I think that stands with the immigration crisis too. As political as it is, just try to be there for each other as humans, okay? Too much hate, let's show some love. But let's move forward, because we're done with all that drama with Greg Abbott bringing up Mayorkas, the Homeland Secretary. So we're going to move forward, because who knows? This one's pretty crazy. He's someone I really like to follow on X. I think he has a great presence on X. He has motivational tweets a lot of the time. But Scottie Pippen, at Scottie Pippen, again, is he the Bitcoin creator? He says, what if I told you I've met Satoshi Nakamoto? Hashtag Bitcoin. And Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't even know if that's a real person, but it could be Scottie Pippen also. The mystery of who created Bitcoin eludes me still. And maybe it's AI. But either way, Scottie, if you know, please let us know. That would be crazy. Maybe it's you. I don't know. You're a troll. But I like the positive vibes you bring out with most of your tweets saying, you got to be there for yourself and you got to stay strong. Shout out Scottie Pippen. Let's go to the next tweet here by Antonio Brown, AB at AB84. Man, he's also a very entertaining person on X. And he says, opening a door at the Diddy party, hashtag CTESPN. And it's a picture of an oiled up Danny DeVito on the floor. And yeah, just very graphic and gives you a real sense of like, oh man, who knows what went on in those Diddy parties. I am still waiting to hear the list of all the names associated. It's going to be crazy and wild, just like the Diddy parties themselves. And AB, thanks for throwing some humor in there. Dark humor at that, but humor nonetheless. 50 Cent also adding to the Diddy drama once more. 50 Cent at 50 Cent. They've been doing Meek dirty. He went to pay $100K to find out who doing this. LOL. Gunitbrands.com. And it's P. Diddy's face on Rick James and Meek Mill's face on the lady he's in bed with, trying to seduce. Sexy lady, da 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 da. It's kind of how the song goes. But it was pretty funny and it had both their faces on there. I don't know if you've seen it, or, well, not seen it, but heard it, Jobins. There's an audio leak. Who knows if it's real these days? Everything could be faked with AI technology or just someone else who sounds like Meek. But there's a supposed audio leak. I had heard it myself of what sounds like P. Diddy giving it, or I want to try to say this in a way that's not too distasteful, but essentially he is having himself upon Meek Mill, which in my way of trying to make it sound classier almost makes it sound dirtier. But you guys get the picture. You have your ear up against the door and you hear some things that you wish you hadn't heard. And it's just oof, man, the screams and the hollering, it is it leaves a lot to the imagination when you're just hearing it. I am happy that I just heard it and I didn't see it. And again, this audio leak could have been fake. I don't know the legitimacy of it, but I do feel bad for Meek Mill. If it happened, I feel super terrible for him just off the fact that what happened in that room's pretty crazy. And if it didn't happen to him, I feel bad too, because that's got to hurt his reputation, and it's not even true. So who knows with the audio leak, but 50 Cent's kind of throwing some more gasoline into the fire with that tweet, and then repost of the P. Diddy's face on Rick James and Meek Mill's face on the girl. And to end it, Jobins, a final tweet by Lil Durk, who his name is The Voice at Lil Durk, and it says, the industry fake. Stop trying to be friends and just get money and stay with who you locked in with. Free the world. I think there's a good message there from Lil Durk, even though he's been involved in some questionable activities with the gangs and all that. But, you know, it's a product of where he's from. He makes great music, and he sounds like he's got loyalty to his brothers. And, you know, I do too. You know, I got brothers that are my day ones. And I think it's important to have a close-knit group that you can always rely on. So I think that's what he's really saying there, is just stay with the people that were there with you from the beginning. People that hop on later tend to be the first ones to hop off. So I do feel what you're saying, Lil Durk, and hopefully everyone's got a good support system. I know not everyone's lucky enough to have a good support system, so my prayers go out to you too if you feel like you don't have somebody you can rely on. But yeah, just make sure that, you know, loyalty's paid back with respect, because we got to be there for each other. So it's good to have people close to you. And then at the end of it, free the world. Yeah, hopefully everything that seems so fake nowadays, we can get through it by being together and just being there for each other. So even though there's a lot of negative headlines going on, Jobins, and I'm talking about illegal immigration crisis and housing affordability, the raising of rents by the competition with immigration housing, all these negative stories, just remember at the end of the day, the person that's looking at you and that you're looking at, you know, they're humans too. So let's not dehumanize people with numbers. Even though we do have to come up with solutions, the first solution to me is be there with open arms and just love thy neighbor, right? What would Jesus do? Love thy neighbor. So that's the main message I want to give out during this turbulent election period, this time of who's right, who's wrong. You're stupid for voting for this person. You're stupid for voting for this person. Let's love each other and respect each other, and hopefully the decision, whoever it is a non-violent transfer of power, or it's I just want everything to be okay, because we're all Americans at the end of the day, and we need to remember that. So thank you so much, Jobins, for tuning in. This has been another episode of What the X, WTX 23, What the X, 23 already, so crazy. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in, Jobins. I hope everybody has a great night, and stay safe out there. Everybody love everybody. Take care.